So today's training is all about the anxiety, the overwhelm, the fear that so many of you feel based on the belief that you have run out of time, that you don't have enough time, that the time for X, Y, or Z to go and be a veterinarian, to go to medical school, to launch that business, to leave your wife or husband that you can't stand anymore, to do whatever it is that you've always thought about doing or you've been thinking about doing, that you've somehow convinced yourself that you don't have enough time. And I'm here to tell you that is complete and utter BS. You are in control of the one thing that everybody cares about, that everybody complains about, and everybody's trying to steal from you, and that is your time. And in fact, if you're worried about not having enough time, let me tell you something that I know about you. You're not using your time effectively. You're not being deliberate about how you're spending your time. And the problem isn't time and whether or not you have enough of it. The problem is you're not being completely selfish, deliberate, and just in control of how you're spending it. You're letting other people distract you. You're letting your negative beliefs distract you. And so that's got to stop today. Because here's the truth, whether you're 70 or you're 77, you have plenty of time to start working toward the things that you care about. And what's so interesting is I'm wearing a shirt right now. Don't you love this shirt? I love this shirt. It's made by a woman named Renee, what's her last name?
Bazzetti.
Bazzetti, here in Seattle. And I love her story. Mandy and I were just over. She hand makes these shirts, and I had no idea what her backstory was. She left her husband at the age of what, 46?
44, yeah.
At the age of 44 with two kids.
Court for 2 years.
She left her husband at the age of 44, had two kids. She was in court for 2 years. She literally went from being in her home overnight to literally moving in the middle of the night to her own apartment. And she had no idea what she was going to do. And she just told us, she said, at the age of 46, her attorneys told her only 1% of women actually find the gumption to leave a situation like the one that she was in. And most women don't leave because they don't know what they're going to do. They figure, oh my God, I'm so old. I don't have time to figure this out. What am I going to do? Blah, 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 blah. Like the same kind of anxiety. Well, she left, and she told us that the best thing that ever happened to her is that her husband kicked her rear end in divorce court. And she literally left that proceeding with just about nothing. And so she was forced to figure out, what am I going to do with the rest of the time that I have? I'm 46 years old, and there's plenty of women out there and men out there that think, oh my God, at the age of 46, I don't have enough time left. Are you kidding me? I'm 50. I'm just getting started. As far as I'm concerned, I've got the rest of my life to figure out what I want to do and to work towards what I want to do. And so she basically, for 3 years, started working on making a shirt. It was the thing that she was interested in. And so this is the most important thing I need you to understand. Telling yourself you don't have time, it's a habit. Telling yourself you don't have time is an excuse. If you're telling yourself that the time has passed for you to go become a veterinarian, that's somebody's comment that I saw today on Instagram. If you're telling yourself that the time has passed for you to build a business, that the time has passed for you to do whatever it is, here's what I know about you. You're just afraid. You're just afraid of taking the step. And it's a lot easier to use the excuse that you don't have time. Because if you tell yourself you don't have time, guess what? You're not going to find the time, and you're not going to force yourself to make the time to make working on that dream a priority. You know, one of the things that I wear right now is my little My Intent bracelet, this little thing, and my word for the year is deliberate. And when it comes to time, you have to be deliberate because you have plenty of time. It's a matter of whether or not you're being deliberate about how you're using it. And that's the thing that you have to stop. You got to stop giving your time away. You got to stop wasting your time with people you don't care about. You got to stop wasting time listening to the excuses from the past. They don't apply. You can make anything happen if you just start putting in the work. And that's going to require you to get deliberate about making the time to do the work. And you can do the work that you need to do to change your life 10 minutes a day. That's it. Start working 10 minutes a day. Start taking an online course. Start investigating going back to school. Start following people that inspire you around launching your own business. You have time. So stop with the habit of telling yourself you don't. Do we have any questions, Mandy?
Yeah, we do. From Diane on Facebook. It's a good one.
Diane on Facebook.
She wants to go to school to learn sign language to be an interpreter.
Great.
Her daughter's a junior in high school, and she wants to know if she should wait until her daughter
No.
graduates.
Okay, so she wants to know if she should wait until her daughter graduates to go back to school. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something, parents. The only way your kids are going to learn how to pursue their dreams and their goals is if you model it. Do you want your daughter to be the kind of adult female, to be a woman that puts everybody else's needs ahead of her? Do you want your daughter to start to think the same lies that we were all trained to believe, that there is a time to do certain thing and a right time? The only right time is now. The only right time to really push yourself to make a change is right now. And so what your daughter is going to learn when she sees you going back to school and she sees you managing your time so that you're focused on priorities that matter to you is she's going to be learning the skill of doing it for herself. It's one of the best things that you could possibly do. My mother did this when I was in 9th grade. She opened up a retail store when I was in 9th grade. She opened up a kitchen retail store, and it was the coolest thing to see my mom pursuing something that was important to her. It was the coolest thing to see my mom launch her own business and to realize, wow, I want to be that kind of person. And I can be a great mom, and I can also have a business. And the way your kids learn that kind of thing is they watch you do it.
Look, we all procrastinate. We avoid the things that we know that we need to do, and then we spend the rest of the day beating ourselves up. It's amazing. Actually, it sucks, doesn't it? So how do you stop procrastinating? Oh, simple. Just nail yourself to a chair. That's what you do. You tell yourself no booze until you get it done. That works. No, it doesn't. The reason why these things don't work is because most of us don't even understand what procrastination is. I know I certainly didn't. The reason why you procrastinate is not why you think. Procrastination has nothing to do with work. Procrastination is a stress reliever. That's right. It's a tool that you use to give yourself relief from stress that you feel. And the stress that you may be feeling right now might be stressed about money. You might be stressed about your health. Maybe you're stressed about something going on at work or about a relationship that you're in. And the way that this relates to procrastination is you're stressed out, you got work you know you need to do, but instead of doing it, you go online or you watch the highlights of last night's game, or you waste an hour looking at Facebook. And when you do that, when you avoid work, it makes you feel good, but just for a minute. See, this is where we get procrastination all wrong. A lot of people think procrastination is about willpower. It means that you're lazy. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about your stress. That's why your work ethic or discipline, that's not going to solve this either. The key to stopping procrastination, number one, is understanding what it is. It's a way that you deal with stress. And number two, it's about 5-second decisions that stop the cycle of procrastinating. Because when you change your decisions, you're going to change everything. And here's how you're going to use the 5-second rule to do it. When you catch yourself procrastinating, or you feel yourself starting to avoid what you need to do, use the rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, activate your prefrontal cortex, and then acknowledge. Acknowledge that you feel stressed out. That's the first piece. Then you're going to use the 5-second rule to just get started. That's it, for 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Force yourself. I'm stressed out. I get it, but I'm going to work for 5 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sit down and get started. After you've worked for 5 minutes, give yourself a break. Watch all the cat videos you want. I don't really care. The point here is that this is a way that you can use the 5-second rule in combination with research about beating procrastination that puts you in control of your decisions. Stacy found that when she used the 5-second rule to improve her relationship with herself, there was an amazing result. She stopped procrastinating. In her words, your rule has helped me grow in ways I never thought possible. I no longer procrastinate on anything. And the same is going to be true for you, because when you understand that procrastination is something that you do when you're stressed, And you also understand that the secret to beating procrastination, which is a habit, is to just get started. Now you can use the 5-second rule to leverage all the research that will help you end the habit of procrastinating once and for all. To learn more about the science behind why this works, why just getting started is the key, and all of the science behind it, I want you to read chapter 11 of the 5-second rule book. And it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and at your local bookstore.
This is a question from Vicki. Vicki writes, I'm trying to become a fashion and beauty blogger and earn money from it full time, but I have some kind of mental block and procrastination problem when it comes to actually pushing myself to do anything related to that goal. This is something that we hear about all the time, that you have this huge goal, yet you cannot seem to push through the mental block, that you have something that you want to do full time, but you can't seem to beat procrastination. This is something that we see over and over and over again. And it's this idea that you don't ever start. You stay trapped in your head. And if you feel paralyzed, if you've been spinning the same ideas over and over and over again, then you know what I'm talking about. You see, many of you are thinking way too fucking big. You're attaching way too much pressure on the things that you're interested in. Until you start blogging about fashion, you won't even know if you like it. So thinking that you have a dream about doing it and thinking that you have this grand plan that you're going to do it full time, it is a complete and utter waste of your time to be dreaming that big. And let me tell you why. Because oftentimes, if you're the kind of person like Vicki that's getting trapped up here, the bigness of what you're thinking about is what's stopping you. What I want you to do if you're in Vicki's situation is I want you to stop dreaming and I want you to just start doing small things. I want you to go back to curiosity and less into crushing your big goals. The thing about life and business and success is that you have to be willing to start. And for people that procrastinate, starting is the hardest part. For people that worry, for people that think too big, starting is the hardest part. Folks that study procrastination talk about the fact that the only way to beat procrastination is to create what they call a starting ritual, which is a way to push yourself to get started. Because all the research shows that if we can push you to get started on something, you'll likely keep going. So, Vicki, the only way to get out of the mental trap is to stop fucking thinking and actually start doing it. And maybe thinking that this is going to be your full-time employment, that's the wrong way to go about it. I want you to literally just commit to writing some sort of blog about fashion every day for a fucking week. That's it. Don't think about full-time. Don't think about the bigness of it. Actually start doing it. You may discover you don't like it, for crying out loud, but you're never, ever, ever going to advance if you continue up here. How do you force yourself to do it? Well, you can use the 5-second rule for that. You can wake up in the morning and say, today I'm committing to making small progress on this thing I'm curious about, which is fashion blogging. You can find time when you're going to sit down, and then the second that it's time to do it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start writing. Here's what you can expect to experience if you're somebody like Vicki who has trouble getting out of the thinking loop. The second that it's time to actually move from thought to action, you will become a first-class asshole. You will feel resistance. You will struggle with what you're going to write. You will start to feel like it needs to be perfect. You're going to come up with excuses. You're going to talk yourself out of it. Why? Well, because you're used to thinking, and now you're asking yourself to do. Why am I explaining what you should expect? The reason why I'm explaining what you should expect is because it's normal to feel those things. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to feel like you don't want to do it. It's normal to think about doing it perfect. Letting those things stop you is a choice. So, let me recap. You're the kind of person like Vicki that's got all these big ass dreams, but you can't get out of your thinking loops. You can't stop procrastinating. You can't stop thinking about it. You get overwhelmed and so you do nothing. The only solution is micro action. That's it. I don't want to hear shit about your big goals. In fact, for everybody out there, I don't want to hear shit about your dreams and your goals until you're actually taking the actions every day for a couple weeks straight. You don't get to talk about your dreams until you can prove that you wake up and every single damn day you push yourself to take one small action forward. If you can do that consistently for a month, then you can start talking about your dreams. Then you can start talking about how you make money at it. Then you can start talking about how you build skill around it. But until you can actually get your ass out of bed and make the commitment to yourself to do the actions required to become a blogger, or to be a blogger, not become, to be a blogger, to be somebody that's in the restaurant business, you're just all talk. That's all I got to say on this.
One of the things that I learned in researching the book, The High Five Habit, which was freaking news to me, Chase, but once you have somebody unpack it, you're like, oh shit. Well, that makes a lot of sense. It is research from a woman who was at UCLA for a long time, one of the leading neuroscientists in the world. She studies the brain and what it takes for the brain to learn, to change, to create. And one of the things that she discovered is the connection between your nervous system and your brain's ability to function as it's designed. And to just really dumb it down, mostly for myself, this is how I've boiled down what she talks about. So, your nervous system trumps your brain. And when you are in a state of stress or anxiety or uncertainty, and your nervous system gets locked into a fight or flight response, which is what everybody is in. There's no way. I mean, your wife may not be there because she is a expert in meditation. She's a practitioner, so she has daily practices that help her flip off what's called the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, anxiety, on edge. Oh, fuck, how am I paying the bills? What's happening in politics? Gas prices are now crazy. When are we getting off Zoom? Are the kids going back to school? Do I have to wear a mask? Do I need a booster? Like all of that shit that you're processing that makes your nervous system fire up like alarm, alarm, alarm. That's your sympathetic nervous system. If you don't switch that sucker off and flip on the other nervous system, you got two nervous systems, sympathetic, parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is your resting nervous system. It's your grounded, calm. It's the nervous system that's in play when you're in flow, being creative. It's what it feels like when you're grounded in your body and you're okay and you feel okay. And so, what I learned from Dr. Judith Willis is that when your sympathetic fight or flight, oh fuck, nervous system is running the show, your brain doesn't work properly because the alarm system takes over. And I can explain this using a very simple example. If all of a sudden the alarms went off in the studio that you're in and you smelled smoke, would you be able to solve a math problem? No.
No.
Of course
I'm
not.
out. I'm
You're
out.
Well, that's basically what it's been like for the last 2 years. The fire alarms are going off and your body, your nose smells smoke. And so your nervous system flips on an alarm. The reason why it's so hard to focus, the reason why you're exhausted by 1:00 in the afternoon, the reason why you feel like you're one more thing away from checking yourself in and needing help is because your nervous system is just fried and it's impacting your ability to think clearly. And so there's a simple trick that you can use. And I know you've talked about the vagus nerve a lot on your show. It's a really important thing to understand. It's a treasure inside your body. The vagus nerve is a nerve that runs all the way from, your seat through every major organ, your vocal cords, all the way up to the top of your head. And the vagus nerve is the on-off switch between your, oh shit, nervous system and your, I got this nervous system. And so, a simple thing that you can do, and I want everybody to do this at the beginning of their day. And the reason why I want you to do it at the beginning of your day is because I guarantee you, particularly because you're in business for yourself, you're waking up on edge. Your cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are the highest first thing in the morning. And so when you wake up and you're already on edge, feeling like, oh my God, how am I going to get through the day? How am I going to pay my bills? You're rattled, you're thinking, you're worried, your cortisol levels are high. That means your, oh shit, nervous system, your alarm system is already ringing. So we got to flip the switch and turn off the alarm before you start your day so that your brain can focus and work for you. So the way you're going to do this, I call this high-fiving your heart. We're going to press in the center of your body, and that's going to kind of right by your heart, it's going to press on your vagus nerve. That's where the on-off switch is. And I'm going to teach you to manually flip the switch and to turn off the alarm system and to turn on the calm, grounded, creative nervous system that's going to help you get back into a state of flow and help you be more strategic, because right now is the most extraordinary moment in time for you as a business owner, I believe, and for a creator. So as you're pressing right here, you're just going to take a deep breath. Go ahead. And now I want you to say these 3 sentences. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm loved.
I'm loved.
That's it. And most mornings, I need to do it about 23 times. No, I'm serious. Like what
I know,
happens?
but I love that about you though. Like you're like 23 times. Like no, like
Well, you know when it's
I know.
when you can stop because you actually have a sensation of the rattle
Downregulation.
settling,
Yeah.
and you come back into your body. And I didn't realize until I learned how to turn off the alarm and turn on that cool rested state that my default for as long as I can remember, Chase, has been alarm mode. That I have been running so fast, mostly away from things, that I did not comprehend just how dysregulated my nervous system was. And, I think it's really challenging for creatives like you and me and everybody listening. And even if you're a small business owner and you don't consider yourself a creative and an artist, your business is your art. And
For sure.
as a, small business owner, you're creating something. I didn't like slowing down is terrifying when you're creative because there can be this manic, stressed out energy that's part of the creative process. And so it was very foreign to me during the pandemic to not be able to run somewhere. I mean, I literally could not go to get a cup of coffee or go to catch a flight or run to Target to run an errand, which I didn't realize was how I was kind of managing all of this dysregulated kind of survival mode energy. But learning how to stand in that frenzy, put my hands on my heart, and bring myself back into my body so that I could leverage the intense and incredible power of my brain and be strategic instead of reactive and be confident instead of like chaotic. It's been life changing. And so I believe that, look, will putting your hands on your heart take away your problems? No, it won't change the circumstances you're dealing with. But what it does is it changes you from the inside out and changes your ability to be calm and to be confident and to be clear minded and intentional about how you face those things. And that changes everything.
Everything, because shit happens. Shit's going to happen. And it's not that we aim to prevent things from happening, but we take control of our response to those things, right? Whether this is stoicism or neurology or psychology, all of those things align to say that how we respond is the measure of greatness, right? That is how we become our best self.
Or
And this
sanity.
is,
I mean, I can
yeah.
give you an example, Chase. We've been wrapping up kind of like this big like book tour to the extent you can do one in these times. And I went over to London, and we had an incredible, tour over in London. And I took my daughter with me, and it was time to come home. And the regulations for getting any kind of international travel, at least right now, at the time that we are filming this, are mind-blowingly complicated, and they're changing in real time, and some involve printouts and others involve apps. And so I found myself at 4:30 in the morning at the airport 2 days ago with my daughter, and we didn't have the right paperwork. And as soon as we learned we don't have the right paperwork, as soon as you start to entertain, I'm not getting out of this country. As soon as you learn that, oh my God, am I going to have to quarantine here for 14 days? Then can I get back in the country? And that whole thing happens when you allow the stress of your life or the stress of a moment or the uncertainty of something or the fear that you feel to all of a sudden surge through your body. You will not be able to solve the problems you're facing. And so literally at 4:30 in the morning at Heathrow, I got my hands on my heart as I'm huffing and puffing because I didn't download the app and I can't get back home and I don't want to stay here for another 14 days. And my daughter I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm loved. My daughter's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm okay. And I bring myself back into my body. And then I start saying, what if it all works out? What if everything's okay? What if I figure this out? And I use the tools to come back into the moment, Chase, so that I can focus on what I need to do. And I'm telling you, if you're a small business owner and you are rattled and you are living with sustained stress, it's hand-to-hand combat with yourself in order to fight against the way that your body, your nervous system, your emotions can hijack you. And you can get control. And the more you use the tools that we're going to talk about, the faster and better you'll become at it. Here's what I want to do. I want to give you some ways to think about productivity that you might not be thinking about right now. Because the fact of the matter is, when I hear the word productivity, I don't want you to think about plowing through a to-do list. Because part of the reason why you don't feel productive is because you're busy doing the things that aren't important to you. Yeah, do you need to make sure you have milk or you got almond milk or oat milk in the fridge? Of course you do. But have you ever noticed that all the busy crap in life tends to take care of itself? That you don't really need to focus your time and energy on the minutia that's on your to-do list, because that stuff tends to grab your attention. What you really need to do is figure out how to create time and how to create the focus that you need in order to feel like you are making progress on the important things. And that's really what productivity means to me. You get all kinds of stuff done. You're really busy in your life, aren't you? But are you getting progress made on the important things? Probably not, because that's the challenge for most of us. And so first things first, when it comes to trying to have a breakthrough in productivity, you need a game plan. You need to have a very short list every week of what actually matters to you, okay? Because I guarantee you, if you were to do an audit of the way that you spend your time this week, you would probably see that 95% of your time is spent on things that you really don't care about. And even more scary, I bet you don't even realize how much time you are wasting just mindlessly scrolling through social media or sitting on the couch with the TV on, also answering emails. That is the least productive way to spend your time. Multitasking, spending your time just sort of zoning out on things that don't matter. What I want you to do is I want you right now to think about, what is it between now and the end of this week, for example? What is it that matters to you? What's the most important thing that you would love to make progress on that you never seem to find the time? Okay? It's a whole nother conversation for us to talk about whether or not you actually have time, because the fact is you do have time. You have plenty of time to make small amount of progress every single day on what matters to you. What you do not have right now is you do not have a plan for prioritizing the important stuff in your life. What's the one thing that you want to make progress on, that you want to find some time to be productive on? Because productivity, everybody, true productivity is not plowing through a to-do list on shit that doesn't matter. True productivity is making progress on something that matters to you, because that's going to make you feel like you own your life again. That's going to make you feel like you're putting yourself first. And these projects, everybody, you don't have to get them done this weekend. You just need to identify, make a plan for what's the most important thing. I want to get my sister's SSI paperwork completed for her. I would love to spend more time with my son. I would love to work on my YouTube channel. Amazing. Amazing, everybody. I would love to remember to high five myself in the morning I see somebody. I'd love to spend time on my job search. Right now, all we're doing in order to have a breakthrough in productivity, step number one is to identify one thing that you want to make progress on by the end of the week. That's it. Could be today, could be this weekend. Just identify the one thing you want to make progress on that matters to you, that you never seem to have time on. For me, I really want to spend time with my son. And what does that mean? That means I got to be intentional about carving out time to be with him. And so we're going to go skiing together this weekend in Vermont. And I have to take the step to organize the time, because just going up and being with him for the weekend, that isn't going to lead to quality time together, right? It's going to leave me in his presence and him in my presence, but he'll probably want to spend time with his friends. He'll probably want to spend time with his girlfriend. I'll be busy doing other things. And so you really need to identify, what is it that matters to you that you want to prioritize and make progress on? That's step number one, everybody. Because if you don't actually make a game plan, it's sort of like a football team that's playing and they score in the wrong end zone. You need to know what is it that matters to you, because you can be busy as hell, you can be productive as hell on all the wrong shit, and then literally it's like scoring in the wrong end zone because you were not focused on the goal that mattered to you. Okay, great. So I see so many people writing down what they want. And I also see people going, I'm so bad at organizing my time. No, you're not. You're terrible at figuring out and identifying what matters to you. Because the fact is, everybody, based on research, if you end every week feeling like you made progress on one thing, just one thing that matters, and notice I said progress, not that you got it done, that you just spent some time and you just pushed yourself forward a little bit. If you, based on the research, end every week going, wow, I made a little bit of progress on something that mattered to me, the book I want to write, the YouTube channel I'm trying to start, the job search I'd like to do, researching trauma patterns in relationships so that I can show up better in my relationships, finding a therapist, spending time doing that. Whatever it is that is the most important project for you personally, identify. Step number one. Number two, focus on progress. So part of the reason why you don't feel productive is because you're trying to complete everything. And so let's take one of the things that I saw somebody write, that you want to clean up one of the spare rooms in your apartment or in your house, that maybe there's a spare bedroom and you have been wanting to turn it into a home office, or maybe one of the kids has moved out of the house and you want to declutter that room, like a project around organizing. Maybe it's something in your garage or your basement. Or, hey, here's one for me. Our daughter moved out and started her life, post-college, and our other daughter is out in Los Angeles going to college. And we, no joke, have 3 garbage bags full of clothes that somebody needs to go through to figure out what needs to be donated, what could you actually sell because it still has tags on it. And it has been sitting there for 2 months. So maybe you have a pile of that kind of stuff in your house. This is not a priority for me. I'm perfectly fine with it sitting in the room where our laundry is. The priority for me this week is to carve out dedicated time to hang out with our 16-year-old son and do something fun together. Because we spend a lot of time together, but we don't get intentional about doing something specific. But if you want to declutter, for example, here's where we all go wrong. You identify what you want to do, and then you think you got to get it done. In order for me to go through 2 bags of clothing, for example, in order for you to clear out your garage, that could take you 2 days to do it the right way, right? Because, if you don't give yourself enough time, then you're going to piles. And so then you think, I can't get it done. And so then you never schedule it, right? Okay. We're not going to worry about completion, everybody. We're going to worry about progress. So when you think about things in terms of progress, it can shrink the amount of time that you need. Maybe all that you're going to do is you're going to work on one dresser in the room, or you're going to work on one shelving unit in the garage. And by simply making the time to, number 1, identify what matters to you, and number 2, identify what meaningful progress could look like, you will now shrink the amount of time, you will define the project, and you can make the time for it. And simply just doing that is going to make you feel more productive based on the research. All right, now let me talk about what you need to do. Okay, I literally have notes for this. Oh, there we go. And I just lost it because I really want to make sure that I teach you all this stuff. So here, Becca, can you help me? Because this is not, because my thing is not, never mind. Guys, I am trying, multitasking is not how you be productive. And you are watching me multitask right now. We're going to get into some of the science now. So now that is how you leverage something called the progress principle. Okay, the progress principle is really important when it comes to productivity. This is a concept that I first learned about in the Harvard Business Review. So if it's in the Harvard Business Review, everybody, very fancy, must be accurate, right? If it's coming from Harvard. Well, the progress principle is a study that comes from a study where researchers looked at, I believe it was 14,000 work journals. And what they found after looking at the work journals of how people spent their time, 14,000 people, is that at the end of the week, the people that felt like they had been the most productive and the people who felt the most fulfilled by their work week were the people who simply made progress on something that mattered. And so by you identifying what matters to you this week, and by you identifying a way that you can make a small amount of progress on it, you are leveraging this research from Harvard Business Review about what creates productivity and meaning and fulfillment in your life. And that's making progress on something that matters. Now that I've introduced you to the progress principle, I want to unpack some of the science around productivity, okay? So that you can also bring what research says about what productive people do to leverage brain power to be more productive. Ready? Everybody ready? Okay, good. So here's a couple concepts that I want you to think about. First, we're going to talk about globally how I want you to think about being able to focus your attention and get things done, okay? And this is on a day-to-day basis. First of all, when I talk about productivity and the ability to focus your attention on a day-to-day basis, I want you to understand a simple fact. In order to get things done, in order to direct your focus and move through a task, you are going to require some brain power. And so I want you to think about your brain like a car engine, right? And a car engine is what you need in a car to power you forward. And your brain is like an engine that will power you forward to help you get tasks done. Now, an engine requires fuel, right? And sure enough, your brain has a certain amount of fuel. So imagine that you got like a tank that has fuel in it in your brain, okay? And as you wake up and as you go through your day and as you direct your attention on things, guess what happens to that fuel in your brain? It starts to drain. And so I want you to know this, because the tactics and the tools that I'm about to teach you relate to the fuel in your brain and what times of day you have the most fuel. What times of day you are more likely to be able to focus, okay? And what do you think, everybody, is the best time of day for your brain and for the amount of fuel that you have in your brain naturally in order to be able to tap into it and drive your focus at something that's important to you? I love this. You guys are right. Laura says my brain is mush by the end of the day. Everybody's saying morning, morning, morning. I see somebody saying, I feel like I'm on empty. This is a really good analogy, because there are times where you feel like your brain is full of gas and you're able to direct your attention and focus. And then there are times where you're like, Jesus, I feel like I'm running on empty. I'm running on fumes here. And you're absolutely right, everybody. It is mornings. When you wake up, generally what the research shows is that your brain is primed to be able to focus for the first 4 hours of the day. The first 4 hours of the day tend to be, for most of us, the time of day when your brain has the most fuel and when your speed of processing is awesome and when you are able to direct your attention at what you need to be focused on, okay? So now, there's a caveat to this. You can manufacture boosts of productivity and boosts of feeling like you've got a little bit more brain power. Number one, immediately after you exercise. So if you have a burst of cardio, 30 minutes is what a lot of the research says. But if you have a burst of cardio, you will get a little bit of increase in fuel. Another thing that helps is getting outside. Getting outside when you start to feel your energy and your focus start to go to empty, getting outside is another way to give yourself a boost of brain power. But generally speaking, everybody, you need to start to marry mornings with peak productivity, okay? This is true for most of us. There will be some of you that are like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mel Robbins, because I feel like my brain is full at the end of the day. If that's you, because I see some of you going, well, that's nighttime for me. You got to run with that. And you got to save the most important stuff for those moments where naturally you feel like you've got the energy and you got the fuel in the tank to be able to focus. So kind of like, you think, what do you think of when I say the word salt? You think of pepper. What do you think of when I say the word peanut butter? You probably think of jelly. When I say the word productivity and focus, for most of us, I want you to start thinking morning. And here's why that's important. The reason why that's important is because if you can own your mornings, if you can put that thing that matters to you first thing in the morning and make a little bit of progress on it, you are going to start to feel like you are more in control. You're going to start to see yourself using your best brain power and your highest level of fuel at the thing that matters most to you. So that's a little tip for you about productivity. Try to attack the thing that matters to you first thing in the morning, before you jump on your phone, before you answer emails, before you start attacking a to-do list that's full of shit you don't really care about, before you look at social media. Direct your brain when your fuel level is high and your focus is clear at the thing that matters to you. And it's not just because it makes sense that you would want to do this. I mean, the second you look at email, your stress level goes through the roof, your attention gets hijacked. But it's also because based on research, literally your margin for error increases. They did this research with anesthesiologists. And do you know that the number of errors increase as the day goes on? The number of errors that we see in hospitals increase almost 3 times from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. From 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Hand washing decreases in hospitals, and that also relates to problems in the day. Now, look, the margin of error is very small, but what happens as you go through your day, particularly if you're not getting outside to increase the fuel in your brain and kind of reset your ability to focus, particularly if you're not introducing cardio, which also increases the fuel in the brain and helps you focus, is that your ability to maintain concentration as your fuel level decreases and your brain power decreases and the distractions increase and the number of things that you're trying to remember increase, your ability to laser focus decreases. That's why mornings matter, everybody, when it comes to focus and when it comes to human error, when it comes to distraction. This isn't just research. This is common sense. And, this is not to slight anybody that is working in a hospital, because those folks are angels, particularly after this pandemic, and the margin of error is puny. But when we look at even a puny margin of error over the course of a day, and of the decrease in brain power and the increase in information that your brain is absorbing, geez Louise, it does increase 3x. So you want to prioritize what's important to you first thing in the morning. And you know how I feel about the phone, everybody. Do not look at that damn thing until you have literally figured out what matters to you and you've made a little bit of progress. Now, to end, I want to give you 2 other really cool tips based on science that is going to help you with something that is also a problem right now when it comes to productivity. I believe that right now, the single biggest barrier to you being able to focus on what matters to you is Zoom fatigue. Seriously, you are online all day. You're probably on video conference calls all day. Give me a heart or a hand in the comments, everybody. If you're like, I can't get work done because I'm always on freaking video conference calls all day. Okay? I can't get anything done. I feel like I am a Zoom zombie at this point. How many of you feel like that? Like, holy smokes, I'm a Zoom zombie at this point. The number one thing that is zapping your ability to focus and to concentrate is video conference calls and being online all day. And let me tell you why. There are 2 reasons why this parade of Zoom meetings that you're on all day is killing your ability to focus on what's important. Number 1, when you stare at a screen, your eyeballs, like if I'm staring at a screen, my eyeballs have to focus. Like they're literally focusing on something right in front of my face. And when you have to focus on something really in front of your face, it drains your mental fuel and it makes you feel tired. And so it is critical that you step away from the computer at least every 45 minutes, everybody. So every 45 minutes, what the research suggests is you need to step away from the computer or the phone or get off that Zoom conference and step outside, number 1. Even just open up a freaking window if you're in your apartment and look and like get the fresh air. And second thing you need to do is stare off into the horizon. Allow your eyeballs, like it's almost like they're twisted super tight when you have to focus something that's right here. When you step outside and you stare off at the horizon for just 5 minutes, it's like your eyeballs untwist, your brain relaxes, the fuel picks up a little bit, and that's a simple trick that's going to help you with the fatigue that being online all day is causing. The second tip that's going to help you with focus, everybody, turn off your frigging camera. Sure, start the meeting, say hi to everybody, and then it is okay to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to turn off my camera because I really feel like I concentrate better. And here's the truth. The truth is you will concentrate better, because if you stare at yourself on camera all day, this part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, engages, and it's hard for you to drift into kind of autopilot. If you and I are in a meeting You're drifting in and out of paying attention because you are able to absorb information through all five senses. When you're in this two-dimensional space and you have to stare at your own face, this part of your brain engages and it drains fuel faster. That's one of the reasons why Zoom fatigue is real. Zoom fatigue is draining your focus because, number one, your eyes are having to really focus. It's like they're twisting really tight because you're right close up. Number two, you're staring at yourself half the time, which makes this part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, pay attention, and that drains your fuel faster. So the quick fix is turn off your camera. You are allowed to do that. You are adults here. Just tell people, I'm just going to turn off my camera because that way I notice I don't get a headache and I'm able to concentrate more. And every 45 minutes, step outside, take a deep breath with the fresh air, let the nature make your senses come alive, and for 5 minutes, just stare off into the horizon. And here's one other final tip. It is perfectly acceptable, particularly in this hybrid environment, for you to take your calls, especially if you're able to turn your camera off, outside while you're walking. If you're moving while you're listening to a conference call, your fuel level is going to rise, your heartbeat is going to go up, the outdoors is going to activate your senses, and it's a way for you to increase your focus and also be working. There you go. 3 simple tips to combat Zoom fatigue, to increase the fuel and your ability to focus in your brain. All of this stuff is research-backed tools that you can use immediately.
I am a productivity consultant. I've had a challenge with people. They know what they need to do, and this is my challenge as well. I know what I need to do. I know what needs to be done.
Right.
But getting that motivation and getting over that ledge and that 5-second rule, my goodness, changed my life. Things like doing my finances. I hate doing my finances. So I would 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it, and next thing I knew, I was in QuickBooks.
Awesome.
And it started with little things. I haven't quite made it to not hitting snooze yet.
Okay. Why?
Oh, because my bed feels so comfy in the morning.
Let me tell you something.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your business will go to the next level the second you actually beat the habit of hitting the snooze.
Yes.
And the reason why is because of the science around productivity and the brain.
Okay.
And when you push yourself to walk the talk and have the first 30 minutes of your day be the most productive for your brain, you will bring a level of conviction and authority and impact to the business that's not there currently.
Right.
You see, when you're an expert and you're a consultant, your power is limited to the extent that you personally feel like you're not using the tools. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
I say this for myself. I say this because when I think about businesses that I've had in the past, or when I was an executive coach, and I would be giving advice, but I'm not technically following it in the same regard, I'm not as powerful.
Right.
And so I would highly, highly, highly encourage you, starting tomorrow morning, you want to be the best productivity coach on the planet? That alarm goes off. Notice the gap.
Right.
Because the more that you start to play with this 5-second window and you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you push yourself out of bed and you hate it. And then you take your cold shower and you hate it. And then you don't look at your phone and you hate it. And then you spend the first 30 minutes of the day pushing something forward and you hate it. But you do it. You will now be able to coach people who do the exact same thing.
Right. And that's where I'm coming from in a lot of my business is I've been there. I'm one who likes to pile things and procrastinate.
Yep.
But I know a lot of tips and tricks to get you out of those modes, and that's how I help my clients. I'm also trying to move more into productivity. I say I'm a professional organizer and productivity consultant, and I organize your space, your time, and your technology.
Great.
Which is a little bit different from most organizers because they're only focusing on their space or the time,
Right.
and not the technology.
So you can organize somebody's computer, somebody's workspace, and somebody's home.
Yep.
That you can do and still snooze.
Yes.
You want to be successful and actually shift people's productivity, you got to do it for yourself
Right,
first.
right.
And so call BS on yourself and understand that, like, here's 2 years from now, how much money you want to be making?
Oh.
Like, no joke, as a
Yeah.
productivity, how much money you want to be
I
making?
want to be making at least 100,000 a year.
Fantastic. How are you going to feel?
Yeah. Oh, empowered.
Yes, you're going to feel so empowered.
Yes.
I want you to think for a second about those zeros on that statement when you file your taxes,
Yeah.
about what you took in.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off and you start feeling all the excuses that come in, and that bed is cozy, I know what you're saying, I love my bed too, and you then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get up, I want you to be thinking about that $100,000. I want you to be thinking about how proud you are of yourself. And I want you to be thinking about how good it feels to demonstrate and walk the talk in terms of what you're actually coaching other people to
Right.
do. And if you do that and you show up every day and you think about that $100,000 and you think about what it's going to be like in 2 years when you have turned this corner, you will get out of bed. This is the corner for you.
Yes.
Okay? And the piece of advice that I gave you is anchored in a lot of science. So when people think about their future selves, they did this experiment where they had 2 control groups decide to put away money in like a 401k from their paycheck. And before one group did it, they showed them a digitized photograph of themselves 20 years older. They put in more money because they were thinking about their future self.
That makes sense.
The people who were not shown that put in the average amount.
Yeah.
These people put in a significant amount of money without even being asked to because they were thinking about their future self. I want you to think about that future self every single morning, and then I want you to use the 5-second rule to close the gap between the habit you have now and the person you want to become.
Today, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about the powerful connection between your mindset and your morning routine. And I'm going to give you an assignment at the end of this training. Tomorrow, we're going to build on this. So this entire week, what we're going to be talking about are the components to your morning, because your mindset and having a powerful mindset and being deliberate about what you're going to think about and what you're not going to think about, it begins the moment you wake up. And believe it or not, how you wake up, not when, but how you wake up, and the first few things that you do in the morning will dictate your mood for the rest of the day, which based on science is going to impact your productivity, and it's going to impact how you feel about your life. And it will also impact your mindset for the rest of the day. And that's why now that we've done in days 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we've done foundational training. You've learned a tremendous amount about how your brain works, about your default network, about how to be a deliberate thinker. You've spotted your limiting beliefs. You've learned how to think this, not that. You've started the skill and the practice of the skill. Remember, it's a process, not an event, to be a positive thinker. You've started practicing catching your limiting beliefs and swapping from that default way of viewing the world and thinking about yourself and choosing deliberate thoughts. Now let's talk about physical habits that you can adopt that are very simple, that will be life-changing, because they will impact your ability to be in control of what you're thinking and to be deliberate. And that begins with how you wake up. So let me talk about the morning. You can think about your morning routine and whether or not you even have one in the exact same way that we think about the brain. You're either defaulting to something that you've always done that may no longer serve you, or you're getting deliberate and choosing to do something that's more positive and powerful because you deserve it. And that starts with your morning routine. So if you're the kind of person where the alarm goes off and you hit the snooze, and then the alarm goes off again and you hit the snooze, and eventually you roll out of bed and you step into your day and you maybe drink a big dark cup of coffee and you skip breakfast and you skip exercise and you're tired. If that's how you start your day, your mindset is going to be impacted by that. If your alarm goes off and you immediately reach for your phone and you start scrolling through Instagram while you're in bed, and looking at Facebook, and you are putting all kinds of stuff in your brain that triggers FOMO, that triggers insecurity, that triggers anxiety, that is going to impact your mindset for the rest of the day. And so starting tonight, I want you to take control and be more deliberate about your habits in the morning. And what we're going to do this week is we are going to build, based on science, the most powerful morning routine that you could possibly have. Sorry, I'm just moving this around so that the Instagram channel is brighter. The most powerful morning routine that you could possibly have based on science. It's super simple. It will help you become a more deliberate and positive thinker. And I'm going to walk you through step by step. And you're going to be doing this with more than 230,000 people around the world. So what is the assignment tonight? The assignment tonight is very simple, and you're going to hate it. You're totally able to do this, and most of you are not going to. You're going to let your limiting beliefs and your default mode of thinking stop you from making this simple change. And the thing that I want you to do tonight, this is your assignment. This smartphone right here, I don't want it anywhere near your bedroom. Your assignment is when you go to bed tonight, you are to plug your smartphone in outside of your bedroom. If you live in a studio apartment, put it on the other side of the room. I don't want this phone anywhere near where you sleep. And there's a simple reason why. You're addicted to it. And if it's next to you while you're sleeping, as soon as you wake up, without even thinking, the default mode of your brain will mindlessly reach for this, and you will lie in bed and you will look at your phone. And when you do that, you are putting in garbage into your brain before you even get out of bed. If you wake up anxious, if you wake up overwhelmed, if you wake up feeling like you're losing some imaginary race, if you wake up and you feel dread, if you wake up and feel negative or exhausted, I'm telling you, this is the reason why. And if you want to have a positive mindset this year, and you deserve to, then you also have to get very deliberate about your habits and about your morning routine in particular. Because how you wake up matters. How you wake up determines your mood. How you wake up determines on your phone. Hold on, IG is pausing a lot. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Yikes. All right, hold on a second, IG. I'm getting a lot of, let's get on Wi-Fi. Rendezvous. Let's see if that works. Looks like I'm on. Let's go back to Instagram. Okay, let's see if that works. Is that better, Mandy? Thank you for your patience, by the way. Normally, our streams are not as spotty, but when we started this program, I knew that I was going to be traveling 24 out of the 35 days that we're broadcasting live, and tech can be a challenge. And so for those of you that have been hanging in there on Instagram, if it's spotty, jump over to Facebook Live, jump over to YouTube, jump over to Twitter. We're streaming on all 4 platforms at once. And we will also email you a link to this video, which is one of the reasons why, if you haven't yet, sign up for melrobbins.com/mindset reset, because we curate all this information for you and we tee it up for you every day. So thank you for your patience as I am broadcasting from my parents' place. My mother's 70th birthday is tomorrow. And for those of you that are just tuning in because the stream has been dicey, we're talking about the powerful connection between your mindset and your morning routine. In fact, I would say it's not even powerful, it's critical. You cannot have a positive, in control mindset if you don't have control of your mornings. And it makes a lot of sense from a common sense standpoint, right? If you wake up and you're behind the ball, and if you wake up and you've got your phone in your face and you're not even out of bed yet, and you're looking at everybody's perfect life on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter, or you're reading the news and getting stressed out, you're absolutely, positively not going to start your day off right. So the assignment that I have for you is a very simple one, and it's one that you're going to be tempted to ignore. Do not ignore this. Tonight, when you go to bed, You are to put your phone as far away from your bed as you possibly can. If you have a bedroom, get your phone charging outside of your bedroom. Turn the vibration off, and you can turn the ringer on. And here's why. I know many of you are single parents. I know many of you have jobs where people need to get a hold of you. Instagram is reconnecting again, so I don't know what to make of this. I apologize for the feed on Instagram, everybody. But if you start your day by looking at this, your mind is hijacked and you're going to be playing catch up all day long. I want to give your brain a fighting chance to be deliberate. Tonight, what I want you to do is sleep without your phone. Plug your phone in outside of your room. And then when you get up, you're going to notice something. You're going to notice that you automatically reach for your phone. Your phone's not going to be there. You see, we're setting a trap. We're setting a trap so that you don't fall into the default mode of laying in bed and looking at that thing. I want to give you a chance to catch your thoughts. I want to give you a chance to do a couple things in the morning based on science that will give you control over your day, that will boost your mood, and that will help you develop a much more deliberate and positive mindset. So you got it? If you're going to do this, I want you to put the bicep pump curl, emoji, or give me a thumbs up in the comments below if you're going to try this, because it's a lot harder than you think. And even those of you that are like, oh, I don't look at my phone, baloney. Every one of us is addicted to this thing. I'd like to take some questions real quick about mindset, about the mindset morning routine connection, about the cell phone, or about anything related to mindset reset. Danielle from Facebook, I love routines as well, but what if you let go of your routine? Can you still embrace yourself and the day? I'm not sure I understand the question. I love routines as well. I think that yes, you can, if what you're basically saying is you have a morning where you don't do your normal routine and now it's noon and you realize, my gosh, I've spent the morning in a negative mindset. Can you catch yourself? Absolutely. You absolutely at any moment during the day can catch negative beliefs. You can catch limiting beliefs. You can catch yourself when you default to the negative things that you've trained yourself to think. And you can 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in 5 seconds flat. You can switch to a more positive belief. Absolutely. You can change your attitude like that. No question. You can put the force fields up if you feel yourself getting sucked into somebody else's drama. What I'm trying to tell you is that while that's possible, and while you should do that all day, particularly as you are practicing the skill of having a positive mind, I am here to tell you, based on personal experience, that when you start to own your morning, and when you start to take your morning routine seriously as a habit that you develop that contributes to your mindset and your happiness and your sense of control, it will change your life. If you're concerned about anxiety, having a morning routine that I'm going to walk you through step by step this entire week, this is key to curing yourself of anxiety. And it begins the night before. So Betsy asked, is it better to prep the night before? Absolutely. So the night before, I always plug my phone into the kitchen, or I plug it into my closet. I turn off the alerts on my text messages. I turn off the buzzing, and I leave the ringer on in case there's some kind of emergency. My kids know that they should call me if they need to reach me. We have a daughter who's in college, and kids are all over the place these days. My business partner knows, call me if you need to reach me. Do not text me. And that one habit has changed my mindset for the better. It's changed my life for the better, because when I wake up in the morning, I actually get out of bed. I don't scroll through my phone. And because my phone is nowhere near me, I don't even reach for it. I spend the first 30 minutes to an hour of my day before I even look at my phone, and it has been a game changer, both in my ability to cure my anxiety and in my ability to be deliberate about what I want, A, to be thinking about, and B, what I want to be focused on for this day.
Tatiana on Instagram, I switch my phone to airplane mode or turn it off completely for the night. Is this okay or the equivalent? It's definitely okay, but I don't want it near your bed because I don't even want you tempted to reach for this thing and to start scrolling through it. We live in a moment of time, here comes my father, where we need to have major boundaries with our phone. This right here, it's supposed to be a tool, but we have become the tool. Advertisers know that they can make money on your attention. So when you look at this, whether you're looking at your email or you're looking at Facebook or you're looking at social media, you are giving the world your most precious commodity, which is your attention. And so you're going to hear me hammer the fact that boundaries with this, essential for your mindset, essential for your happiness, essential for your success. Vicki from Twitter, why is morning routine so important? What 2 to 3 items should be a part of it? Why is the morning routine so important? Couple things. How you wake up has a scientifically proven impact on your ability to focus, on your happiness, and on your productivity all day. This is not something I've made up. This is well-established research. And I'm going to be explaining it to you in bite-sized pieces all week long. And so to preview it, we're going to be talking about this tomorrow morning. The 2 to 3 pieces of it are, for me, I wake up when the alarm goes off. And I'm going to explain the science why the snooze alarm is horrendous for your productivity. It actually impacts the way that your brain functions when you do it. We'll explain that in a training this week. I then get up, and for the first couple minutes of the day, I plan my day. And I have a particular process that I go through that leverages something from Harvard Business School called the progress principle. I have a mindfulness practice. That could be anything that you want. It could be gratitude journaling. It could be meditation. It could be 5 slow, deep breaths. It could be taking your dog outside for a walk. And then on mornings when I can, I have a micro exercise practice where I do planks for 5 minutes or I do something to get my blood pumping on the mornings that I can. I do all that before I ever even look at my phone because I put myself and my mindset first deliberately before I ever allow the world access to my mind. You do not want anybody to have access to what's going on up here until you've gotten deliberate about what you're thinking about first. So that's a preview, but I'm going to, as I promised, this was going to be bite-sized stuff. If you've already watched the first 10 minutes of this, you got the training for today, which is the powerful connection between your mindset and your morning routine. And your morning routine begins the night before when you plug your phone outside of your bedroom and you go to bed without your phone anywhere near you. The other reason why that's important is we know based on research that the blue light on these things impacts your ability to fall into a deep sleep. Sleep is essential for you to have a healthy mindset. And also when you wake up, if this is next to you, 87% of adults sleep with their phones or next to their phones. And 33% of adults check email in the middle of the night. And so whether you're willing to admit that or not, we want to break your habit of giving the world access to your mind, and we want to make you more deliberate about how you are with your phone. And the reason why is it has a direct scientific researched impact on your mood and your mindset all day. I have time for just 1 or 2 more questions. If you have any other questions about this, seeing a ton of, but my phone is my alarm, I have kids. Do you see the excuses, everybody? What's more important? If you have kids, do exactly what I told you. Leave the ringer on. If your kids need you, they can call you. If your boss needs you, they can call you. And this is really important for your kids too. You know, there's a lot of research about kids and phones and how they're hugely addicted. And the thing about kids and phones, particularly phones in their bedroom when they're going to sleep at night, is that if you have teenagers are biologically hardwired to push away from their parents when they become teenagers. Their friends become their primary
support group. They become the most important thing in their life. And kids feel a obligation to stay connected to their friends. And they feel an obligation that if I'm not available for my friends, that makes me not a good friend. And so to help your kids, you need to draw the boundaries for them. You need to tell them that they can't have their phone in the bedroom. You need to have a charging station in the kitchen, and you need to model these very healthy and mandatory boundaries with technology, period. And so I get it. Your kids need to reach you. No problem. Plug it into the closet, plug it into the bathroom, turn the ringer on. If there's an emergency, they can call you. Yes, you can use your phone as your alarm. Plug it into the bathroom, plug it into the closet, plug it into the kitchen. Because if the alarm is going off outside of your bedroom or several paces away from your bed, guess what you're doing when the alarm goes off? You're getting up. And tomorrow, I'm going to explain the science behind why you need to get up when the alarm rings and why you should not hit the snooze alarm. I don't hit the snooze alarm because I understand the neurological impact that the act of snoozing has on your mindset, on your mood, and on your brain's ability to focus. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about tomorrow. The reason why you have to get up when the alarm rings. And it's not because it sounds like a good idea. It's because of the science behind how your brain works and what hitting the snooze button and drifting back to sleep for 15 minutes does to your mind. You're going to learn all about that tomorrow, and it is a game changer. So, Mandy and Danielle, do we have any other comments, questions, excuses? Give me the thumbs up if you're going to try this phone challenge. This is going to change your life. Try the phone challenge tonight. Give it one night. And I want you to notice as you do it, how drawn are you to your phone? How panicky are you that it's not near you? Do you feel anxious about it? When you wake up in the morning, are you immediately grabbing for it? I want you to notice the default mode that you have with this sucker right here. Because part of being deliberate and serious about being a healthy, happy, anxiety-free, positive, confident thinker is taking control and having boundaries between the world and your mind. And it's also having the assuredness that you can live without this thing.
I want you to start seeing something bigger. I know you're all successful. I'm talking about something really big for your life. And in order to do that, you have to answer this question. What do you really want? Now, I'm not talking about something small. I'm not talking about a little haiku. I'm not talking about renovating your kitchen. I'm not talking about signing on 10 new customers this month. I'm talking about what you really want. 3 years ago, I was a lawyer and a business coach working with private clients and big corporations all over the country. And I came to a seminar, just like this one, a big leadership seminar, and I went there with my husband. We're both business owners, and I went because I wanted to be more successful. And I went because I wanted to make even more money than I already did. And I was sitting exactly where you are. In fact, I was sitting about, 15 rows back, right where that woman with her hand on her thing, like, you? Yeah, she's like, hi. Was sitting, and I was taking notes, and I'm like, okay, I'm here to make more money. And then all of a sudden, she walked on stage. That is Martha Beck. She writes a column for Oprah Winfrey. She travels around the country speaking. She's a best-selling author. And when she walked on stage, I literally stopped listening. Please keep listening to me right now. And it hit me. I said, I want to be doing that. I'm ready for a bigger stage. Like, that's it. And what's so interesting about when you answer that question is that you don't answer it up here. You answer it here. That's how you see something bigger for yourself. You guys are really cute because everybody's like, I don't see it. I don't see anything for myself right now. Now I'm just confused. I thought I knew what I wanted. And now, Mel, I'm not really sure. And right now the economy is so bad. I mean, it's so bad that even if you're successful, I know sometimes I feel embarrassed talking about my success around some of my friends because I know that they're really struggling. And I get calls every day into the radio show, people saying, oh, I've got this great idea, but I just don't know if it's the right time. And you know what I say to them? I say, yeah, you know, you're right. The recession, it's huge, you should wait. Those dreams, yeah, put them on hold. That's right. Yeah, you should stay in that job you can't stand just a little bit longer. You got college bills to pay. I mean, you know, what you're doing, it's fine. You're busy, right? That guy you're dating, he's good enough for you. But for the people in this room, baloney. You know, that's right. You know exactly what you want. And the only thing that you need to do is to admit it. Now, this may sound weird because I know most of you came in here because you're like, I know what I want. I'm here at Success to try to figure it out. I'm talking about something bigger, much bigger. I'll admit to you what it is that I'm up to. And the truth is, it's embarrassing. Because when you lock on to something way bigger than where you're at, it is downright embarrassing to tell people. Because you're not there yet. But I mean, at this rate, I've already admitted to you that I stalked Martha Beck and that I brought a haiku to the best, lit agent in the country, so I got nothing to lose at this point. So this is what I want. Well, not him. I'm married. I want what he's got. I want 600 radio stations. I want 2 million listeners. And I could certainly deal with the $400 million salary. In fact, if I got it, I'd renovate everybody's kitchen. And the thing is, though, that's so interesting about this is that I didn't pick him. I mean, I'm not looking to become a cigar-smoking, conservative, political guy that like stirs the pot and makes everybody all mad. I'm the liberal lifestyle gal that's trying to help people out. But what I want to do is I want to use radio to entertain people and help them achieve their dreams. And when I really think about it, he's the one that's in the front. I want to not only reach what he's doing, I want to surpass him. I mean, do you think I like it when my friends come over to my office in Boston at my house and they're like, what is that guy doing on your board? No, it's embarrassing. When you admit the big thing that you're up to, it's embarrassing. I have 40 stations. He's got 600. There's a big gap. So admitting where you want to get to is embarrassing, but you got to do it. Okay, can I give you some coaching real quick? Can I give you some coaching? Okay, you ready? This is a super cool trick, everybody. You're about to see me change her. Okay, here we go. Tell you what we're going to do. All right, so 0 to 10, how nervous are you right now?
I'm thinking like 11.
Okay, great. Can you describe what's happening in your body?
I'm warm. I'm getting sweaty.
Awesome. Are your pits starting to sweat now? Okay, yeah, she's getting warm under here, everybody. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay, they're perfect. Just like keep moving them like you're dancing. Okay, great. What else is happening as you're an 11?
I can't stop smiling.
Okay, okay. Terrific. So like the anxiety and the nerves are through the roof.
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, see, she doesn't even know where she is. All right, great. So let's make it worse. Let's go on stage.
Okay.
Everybody give her a round of applause. Okay, here we go. Okay, come here. Okay. All right, 0 to 10. How nervous are you? Did it go higher?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, going higher, everybody. Do you have a neck rash yet? It's getting there. Yeah, I used to get that all the time. Yep. Okay, so I want you to just kind of look out and look at everybody. How many? Yeah. Great, great. Okay, so I'm going to teach you something really cool. You ready? Yeah. Your body doesn't know the difference, everybody, between nervousness and excitement. Okay. So tell me, who's your favorite band?
Nirvana.
Okay, so let's say, well, I realize Kurt Cobain isn't here, but if he were, and if they were playing, and you had a front row seat, how excited would you be?
Oh God, I'd be so excited. I'd be crying and
Yeah, and would you have a neck rash?
I don't know. Actually, I'd be sweating.
You'd be sweating. Yeah, yep. Would your heart be racing?
Yeah.
Are those all the things that are happening right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so your body, everybody, has the same physiological response to nerves and excitement. Exact same. The only difference between you being able to see Nirvana and you standing here looking out at everybody else and you're the one on stage is what your brain is saying about it. So I'm going to teach you a real cool trick.
Okay.
So the next time you're nervous, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm so excited, and then say whatever you're doing. So start going. I'm so excited to be up here.
I'm so excited to be up here.
Say it again.
I'm so excited to be up here.
Say it again.
I'm
Say it again.
excited to be up here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's walk. Say it again.
I'm so excited to be up here. I'm so excited to see everyone here.
Okay. So 0 to 10. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Right? It goes down, right?
Yeah.
So fear builds when you let it sit. It actually lowers the moment you move. And that's a little trick, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm so excited, that has been now researched at Harvard Medical School. And when you use it before an exam, you use it before like any competition, you use it before a speech, you use it before a big pitch, anything. I'm so excited to go in there. I'm so excited I've worked so hard. I'm so excited I prepared for this. I'm so excited because regardless of what happens, I'm not going to die, right? And so if you say that, you take control of what's going on in your brain and your body pays attention, and you just look at how different she looks. Literally, she is calm. She's not freaking out. Like you are literally, you're doing the next keynote. I'm out. All right, so how do you feel?
I feel good.
Okay, great. So what was your question?
Okay, so I have big dreams, and
Yeah.
sometimes they just feel like they're not quite out of reach, but they are. So I have a hard time. Like my dream is to be a cougar.
A who?
Cougar.
Wait, a what?
A cougar.
A cougar. Okay.
With lots of hot men around me in
Okay.
the beach, like.
Okay.
But that's like later.
Okay.
I got some years.
I have that feels like it's within reach. I don't know, right? Okay.
But so that's just for later. I'm talking about like career-wise.
Yeah.
It just seems like I'm stopping myself, or I'm so busy. I have 2 full-time jobs right now. Like I'm always on the run and on the go. I just don't know what I can do to get myself to do these other things, or what way to go.
Okay, so let's bring this. So now I'm going to coach you, and we're going to make it less kind of up in the sky and ground it in reality. What is the thing that you want to go pursue?
I just want to be the best I can be. Like I want my own business. I want
Great.
to be independent.
Great, so
I
you would
wanna
like your
move
own
out of my
business.
state, yes.
Okay, great. So let's start. So what do you want to do first? We're going to take them one at a time. Do you want to move out of your state first, or do you want to have your own business?
I think I want to move out of state first.
Okay, terrific. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use manifesting and goal setting properly, okay? Because so it's critical, everybody, to have huge dreams. And so I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them what is something that you dream about doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So for me, I dream about launching a podcast, like a big podcast. Like,
I thought you said rockets, and I was like,
no, step aside, Joe Rogan. Mel Robbins coming through. All right, great. I'm just giving you a second. So even if you didn't have a chance, all right, come on back. All right, even if you didn't have a chance to say it, I know you thought it. And so here's the difference between dreams and goals. Dreams are the beacon, right? It's the lighthouse. Goals are the brick by brick path that walk you toward it. Okay, you need big dreams because they pull you out of the stress of your day-to-day life, they raise your gaze, and they remind you of where you're headed. And if you don't know where you want to head, there's a simple trick that can help you figure it out. Number 1, ask yourself, well, what do I not want? And move in the opposite direction. Number 2, who am I jealous of? Jealousy is blocked desire. You are jealous of people because you think you can't have the thing that you feel called to have. And so if you are jealous of somebody, it means inside of what they're doing or how they're being, there's something that is meant for you. Like, you can't be jealous of something you don't want. I'm not jealous of anybody that has a penthouse, for example, in Abu Dhabi. I don't want to live there right now. Don't even feel anything when I think about it. It's not meant for me. But when you think about the things that you want, that is a really clear directional signal from your soul that you are not giving yourself permission to move toward those things. So jealousy is just blocked desire. So you know you want to, that's the dream. And so what I want you to do is, I want you to tell me, what are 2 things that somebody who's preparing to move out of state is doing in their day-to-day life?
Saving money.
Okay. And I just guess by the expression on your face, you're not that great at that.
Well, I was, and then I came here.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. Guess what? This is going to be money well spent. You invested in yourself, okay? And you know how to save money. And so by being on this stage, you got plucked up here because it's time to get serious about this goal. And so, couple things. Here's how you're going to use science to train your body to help you lay those bricks towards moving. You are not going to envision moving to the new state. You're not going to envision your new apartment. You are going to envision the annoying, pain in the ass stuff you don't want to do in order to have that thing come true. So you will envision yourself not going out with friends on the weekend because you're saving money. You will envision yourself only putting things in the Amazon cart, but not actually purchasing them, right? You will envision yourself opening up bills and noticing, oh, great, like I'm slowly like saving all, like what is one thing that you hate doing that you know you need to do?
Changing my litter box.
Oh, okay, that was not the one I was expecting. Related to money and saving money. Related to money and saving money.
Saving it. I've put whole paychecks in my savings account, and it just hurts me a little bit.
Great. I want you to visualize and feel that it hurts. I want you to visualize that next paycheck going into saving and feel the like, and then I want you to say to yourself, I'm really proud of myself for doing that, because that's going to help me go. And so for those of you, for example, that want to get in better shape, visualize walking in the rain, because that sucks. And what happens when you visualize it and you feel it is you're training your body to expect that, which makes it more likely that you will take that paycheck and put it in savings, or you will keep walking as the rain comes, because you've already mentally rehearsed this moment in your mind. This is the way that a team of 9 psychologists are training our Olympic athletes in the United States. This has deep research with it. So stop thinking about the state and start thinking about all the annoying little stuff you got to do right now, and you will be there before you know it. You got it?
Yes.
Good.
Oh my God.
Go do it.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you like this one, I have a feeling you're going to like this one too. I'll see you there.